Gaming news, everyone! Welcome to another episode of Awakened Destiny. We got a lot to cover today, but before we get to that, how the heck are you, best buddy? AKA DestinedHero.
I'm doing well. Obviously, very excited to record another episode of Awakened Destiny. um, on a serious note, though, I actually am really excited to record today's episode. I always love doing this with you. Good old grinding. Life was lifing for a while last month, but we're in better spirits now, so glad about that. How are you doing, Destined Soldier?
Well, we are finally back, and we are finally gonna record an episode that will and should get episode almost immediately. And I am starting to actually pay our editor now. So after this episode is done, I send it to him. I'm probably gonna send him a little bit of money as well. So let's go.
Shouts out Geo.
Yes, shout out to Geo. Geo, you are amazing. We appreciate you and we love you. So,
yes, we do, Geo.
with that out of the way, and a little shout out to our editor there.
Let's
How
dive
about
into
we dive into the episode?
Let's
For
dive
some
into
reason
our
it
first.
took me a minute to get there. It's fine.
Let's dive into our first little segment of what we always do. What games have you been playing? What games are you looking forward to, Soldier?
Oh, I knew I forgot something. So, as you know, I recently got Hogwarts Legacy on PC. Discounted, of course, and I am excited to beat that game again. I'm going to be putting a lot of grinding into it. Probably going to get all of the achievements for it. In fact, I don't know if I can because I modded it. I only have one mod, though. But, let me see. Are there any A, B, C, F, G, H? Okay. Yes, I can. I think. We'll see. I'll have to wait and see, but I do have the one achievement. So that works.
Nice.
Just
Any games
one
you're looking
out
forward
of
to?
45. As for games I'm looking forward to, there are a lot that we have to cover here that I'm looking pretty well forward to. I think a major one is definitely Onimusha Wave the Sword. But
That's always gonna be on our list.
It. Honestly, because while these other ones look interesting, I'm not sure how much I'm going to actually be able to play them. We have a lot of games we're going to be covering here. I think one I'm definitely looking forward is one that I'm going to be going over later in the episode anyway. So
That's fair. I was grinding Black Ops 6 for a little while, but I'm gonna take a break again because I'm tired of COD, so we're gonna be, for me personally, I'm gonna be going back to Doom the Dark Ages. I'm gonna re-download it after this recording. And yeah, I've also been grinding Fortnite, got the regular Battle Pass done, working through the bonus rewards. And of course for streaming, we are gonna be going back to Ghost of Tsushima, continuing our road to going back to our road to Ghost of Yotai, which I'm excited for that game. And yeah, pretty exciting for that. Of course, games
There are a few things I forgot to mention. I have been playing enough Fortnite, not enough to have the Battle Pass finished, but I'll get to that. I've also been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight a bit more, going the killer route, and I have been having a lot of fun with the Dark Lord. Absolutely killing it with Wolf Farm. Literally. I love being able to transform into a wolf. Best killer.
always fun. And of course, the games I'm looking forward to, because I have a whole trio of games coming up this fall that I somehow managed to literally get all three of them. Well, one of them Vampire helped with, but not the point. Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilise Chronicles, which we'll be talking about later. Excited for that. Borderlands 4, also another fall game. That's the first of the three that I will be playing and streaming. Cannot wait for that. The game looks fantastic. The previews have been incredible from what I've read. And that was last. Oh yeah, Ghost of Yotai. Cannot wait for that. We're getting a state of play Thursday. We'll be watching that. At least I will be. I don't know about Soldier. I'm really excited for that game as well. So yeah.
I always seem to
without
be
further
busy
ado,
when those seem to come out, so I end up watching them after. Like today, I was watching them to get caught up on what I could have missed.
yeah. Without further ado, I think it is time to dive into our first chunk of gaming news, and that is the state of
Also
play
the
that was.
easiest chunk.
Yeah, hey, we're talking about state of play, right? That should be the easiest chunk. Is the smaller of the three.
Yeah, I think we got the
Okay.
hardest chunk later in the episode. Oh
Okay, so yeah,
crap,
then
that's
yeah,
next. The hardest of the chunk is next. Damn it.
Yeah, well, in a way, yeah. I mean, we don't have to cover all of those because some of those were just obvious. But yeah, we'll dive into the state of play from the Summer Games Fest week. And again, I know we're a month late, but it's kind of hard to always find time. We're slowly getting better at it.
We're working on it. It's hard to find a time when we both have the time. We found out we both have a day off today, and it works out pretty good. I still have plans for today, but that's going to be later today, which is why we're recording now.
Yep, but we're going to start off with the state of play. Of course, it started off with Luminous Arise, which is essentially a Tetris, but it looks cooler to me. It looks flashier. I would definitely play it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was a Tetris-style game. I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to pass on it. I didn't even play Tetris 99, if I'm being honest. I've only seen Firefox play it. Shout out Firefox. She's awesome.
I mean, I won't religiously play it. I wasn't a big Tetris guy, but I'll give it a try. I'll definitely give it a try. Like, I'll probably wait for like a discounted sale. Yeah, I'll get it on a discount, but it did catch my eye. It was alright. Then we got Pragmata. That is a Capcom game, if I'm not mistaken. It was announced in like 2020, 2021. Did not say anything until the state of play.
Okay, so Pragmata actually looked fascinating. It was a Capcom game. That game was definitely interesting looking. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna end up getting it. I'll even buy it full price. That game looked very fun, very interesting, and in a weird way, very wholesome.
I'll probably get it discounted.
I'm sure there's a lot of wholesome moments on there. I don't think I'm gonna buy the game discounted. If I do end up getting the game while it's discounted, cool. If not, cool. I'll still have it and I'll play it. It looks fun. Very cool looking game.
Not my biggest style of game when it comes to Capcom, but
probably not. But I love what they got going for it. I absolutely admire what they got going for it. It looks cute and it looks awesome at the same time. What more can you ask for?
It does look pretty awesome, but I can see why it wouldn't be for everyone, or maybe it is. I don't know. Capcom's one of those ones that has something for literally everyone. They're just that studio.
Oh yeah, Capcom, there is definitely something for everyone. Something for the cuties, something for the edgelords, something for really cool people that love playing demons.
Something for the ones who fucking love horror, and yeah, platformers if they do make a new Mega Man game, so on and so forth. But anyways, the next game that popped up was Silent Hill F. I know there's probably a lot of Silent Hill fans out there, but there's a chance it might not have English subtitles, or English dub I should say, for voice acting. I feel like it needs to though, because it's not going to sell as well. Being that Silent Hill.
Honestly, with it being a Silent Hill game, Silent Hill always has the hits when it comes to their horror, and this game didn't look like it was gonna be any different from any other Silent Hill. I am intrigued by it. I haven't played any Silent Hill games ever, but I've watched the movies, and even the movies slap. They are really good.
I played Silent Hill 1 too. I do like the games. Like, I doubt it'll be a miss. I just know. Well, I actually know there's a lot of people out there that probably just play it how it is with the Japanese.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people out there anyway that watch anime with subtitles, so I wouldn't doubt this one would hit as good as that. I'm honestly into it. I'm intrigued by it, and I'm definitely going to be playing it. I don't know how far I'll get because subtitles hurt my brain, but we'll see.
I'll probably play and beat the game out.
Well, subtitles over a different language.
Well, it has English subtitles.
It does, but what I mean is, like,
Oh, I
If you
know.
can remember that one game that you had on PlayStation Plus that had Japanese that
Yes,
spoke full
Yakuza.
Japanese, yeah, Yakuza 0. Full
Yeah.
Japanese, but they had English subtitles. Trying to read along with the subtitles kind of hurt my brain. I'm not very good at
Yeah.
reading.
I'm too good at reading, but I'm also like I kind of want to focus what's in front of me. That's why I also don't use subtitles in general.
I
Um,
do use subtitles. Like, if I can use the subtitles to catch a word I might miss here, that's awesome, and I appreciate them for that. Because I don't always pay attention to the subtitles, but if I hear a word differently than what I see on the subtitles, I'm like, okay, they said that and not whatever inappropriate thing I heard.
yeah, but anyways, the next. I know we're kind of skimming through State of Play, but that's because like again, there's just so many games on here. Like I can't even.
Digimon Time Stranger. Yeah,
Yeah, we're time
there's a
skipping.
lot we have to cover, so we're gonna try and like speed through. We're gonna lightning through these a little bit, depending on how interesting they were for us. So Digimon Time Stranger seemed like a very cool, very interesting style game. I love Digimon anyway. Having it come to life in that way looked really cool. If I'm remembering the way it came to life right.
I'm bad at remembering trailers. Again, that's why I'm kind of skimming through some of these. But I am excited we're getting a new Digimon game. I remember playing like Digimon World and Digimon Card Battle on the PS1, which God, that was for someone who's
Okay,
younger than the
yeah.
PS1. That era was so. I am pretty interested in it though.
I digress. I'll probably have to see how it is when it fully comes out. I did wishlist it, because, yes. I also wishlisted Silent Hill F and Pragmata.
I do not
I'm
wish to
skipping on
Silent Hill.
Luminescent Rise, but that's not the point. So, Digimon Time Stranger, very cool looking. A lot of content in that game, potentially. I'll see when it comes out. But that brings us to Final Fantasy Tactics.
The Evilist Chronicles, which I want
Thank
to
you.
point out. I do want to point out I am very excited for this game. I played the original once on the PS1. I did beat it. I don't remember crap about it, so I am very glad this is on modern day consoles now. Because before that, you could only play it on a PSP if you had one. I had one. I never got the game. I just had the one FF1 and 2 remaster. I think 4 was on there. Didn't care to grab 3 because 3 was boring to me personally. And
Yeah.
you know, obviously, Crisis Core.
I'm probably gonna end up passing on this one. As much as I love the Final Fantasy franchise and what they do for it, I think that Final Fantasy as a whole, with their storytelling and everything, it's really well done usually. But I think like Tactics is just, it's not my style of gameplay. But I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it.
I have a lot of fun. Story, from what I remember, is really good. A lot of people, unironically, a lot of people put that right up there with 7 as best Final Fantasy if you played Tactics, obviously. I've played it. I need to play the remaster to really see where I rank it, but otherwise I still would rank it highly.
Okay, so this was
Great
an
game.
interesting one you noted down, because I think I skimmed over it, because like I'm not interested at all, but 007 First Light.
Well, I'm actually pretty excited for it. Like, I don't like many 007 games, but this one looked like a prequel to James Bond story, so I was like,
Best
okay,
buddy timeout.
Anyways, so 007 First Light, it looks, English. The gameplay looks really good to me. I kind of already forgot the trailer a little bit, but I remember seeing like some climbing action, obviously the shooting. And it looks like it seems to be a prequel to the James Bond story, so I'm pretty intrigued. It probably will be more of a discount game for me though instead of a full price because again it looks great, but I have higher priorities that I know are coming, like Onimusha and God knows what else is coming in 2026. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all that matter. Honestly, I think I might pass on 007 First Light, because like I was never interested in James Bond anyway. He didn't seem like that interesting of a character to me. But I mean, to each their own. For you, if you enjoy James Bond, that's fine. We all enjoy our own things, and if you enjoy James Bond, that's pretty cool, honestly.
I'm 50-50 on it. I don't like all of his stuff, but it does look interesting.
But on the next one, we have Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. That game looked really
Oh
cool.
my god.
Or was it
God.
Takon? I don't know. They used an accented O on it, but oh man,
I just call
that
it Token
game.
Fighting.
That game looks awesome. It has very good fighting style. It looks way better than
So cool.
Marvel Cosmic
Marvel
Invasion,
Cosmic. Yeah.
which
Isn't
we
it
do have
the-
later on the list. We'll get to it. But that
Was
game
it-
looks
was it-
way more fun.
Was it 4v4 or 5v5 for Souls?
For what?
Fighting. So, or Tokon Fighting Souls. Was it 4v4 or 5v5 for like how many characters can be on the screen?
I don't know. I might have glossed over that. I think I missed that. I didn't watch the full trailer. I just saw a couple of fighting things here and there. Some of the characters. Like, of course, they got some infamous Marvel characters in there. I'm very excited for that. I'm probably going to end up picking that up because I do enjoy fighting games. And seeing a Marvel fighting game finally come out, definitely come into my playlist of games.
You and I are probably going to be playing that a lot together. Co-op as well. We're on the same team.
Oh, most likely.
I'm pretty sure it's 5v5. Like, it's straight up chaotic. Sony's the one who's like the lead on it from my understanding. So it's like, yes, just inject this into my veins. I'm also pretty sure they're the same guys that did Marvel vs. Capcom, or the studio anyways. So yeah, very, very much like yes. Just all the yes for this game. Don't even care. Give it to me.
Yeah, this game
Which also
looks interesting. Definitely picking it up.
Minor announcement because it does concern the game somewhat. PlayStation is creating their own fighting stick if you do happen to want to use a fighting stick to play the game. Otherwise, just use controller. But I do think it's cool Sony's doing more technology thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that might be a little bit... I don't know. Okay, so it's basically based off of like old arcade controllers. Like the old arcade style of gameplay. That's pretty cool. I might have to pick that up.
I probably will too, honestly. I've used a fight stick before. It is pretty dope.
I've used one for that Simpsons arcade. I've used that at least, but it only had 2 buttons. It didn't have all of these buttons.
God, the arcade was so fun.
Man, that brings me back. But that moves us on to Tides of Tomorrow, which I already need to re-Google because I forgot. But I know I had it noted down for a reason.
Geo, put in DestinedSoldier's Google.
Okay, so Tides of Tomorrow. I mean, it did look pretty cool from the trailer. I already don't remember anything about it, but I think it had some cool elements in it that intrigued me, which is why I had Hero note it down anyway. It was his message, he had to note it down. But it looked very interesting, and I think there was another one. Was that State of Play?
Yeah, that was State of Play.
So there is one last one. I can't remember if it was on Xbox Showcase or State of Play. I forgot to note down what it was in, but Hero refused to write it down because he's weird. But
it's probably the Xbox Showcase, and you probably have it down.
I did write it down for me, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's in the DMs. That was the Xbox Showcase. I didn't get it right down. It's just like, fuck you and your game. It was there are no ghosts at the Grand.
Yeah, let me see. Was that Xbox Showcase?
Pretty sure it was.
I can type. Yeah, it was Xbox Showcase, so we'll go over it later on. But with that out of the way, yeah, Tides of Tomorrow looked interesting and had some really cool water elements. I don't remember much about it though, but I'm sure I'll end up picking it up.
But yeah, that is the State of Play for 2025 or Summer Games Fest weekend. But speaking of Summer Games Fest, we must deep dive into their state of summer games. I mean, what? Bad jokes aside.
Yeah, we are to dive into Summer Games Fest. We are in the wow. I can't English any better than you. We are to dive into this ocean that is Summer Games Fest. They had a plethora of games to go over. So to kick this off, I started off halfway in the episode because I was just knowing down what I remembered first, and then I skimmed through it again to see what else I had to remember. So we're starting off with the game that showed up in the last half of it, Deadpool VR. That game looked very fun, very cool. We still need the console version from like Deadpool that was on PS3 and PS4, mildly PS4 though, because it costs $50+ to get it for PS4. And it only costs very little to get it for PS3, and I could probably get it for cheaper just on PC. I have no idea. But it's at that point where I'd rather just like, they need to release it for consoles that are nowadays. They need to remaster it because it was such a cool looking game.
Insomniac, you know what to do.
Oh shit, did they really not? Oh, they don't have it on here.
Is it not able to be wishlisted?
Yeah, no, not yet. Deadpool VR is not able to be wishlisted yet. They don't have any Deadpool games on here.
There was a lot of fun Deadpool references during the trailer. I actually really liked it. Damn, I kinda wish I had a VR now just to play this one game. It was fantastic.
The Deadpool game is very hard to come across anyway, but playing Deadpool VR sounds like it's gonna be just as fun. Oh, it's already on the MetaQuest store, but I don't know if it's gonna be in the Steam shop or not. It should be, because Steam VR is still a thing. That's where I'm gonna end up picking it up.
You're just gonna have to tell me how that game is, because he has the VR.
Yeah. As for the next game, because Deadpool VR does seem very fun, but I would also like to get into the original Deadpool game, where you get to bitch slap Wolverine.
Yes.
But with that game, with those games aside, we have Onimusha Way of the Sword in Summer Games Fest, which we have covered previously, but it was a new trailer and they had so much juicy content for us. I already forgot the name of the main character, but they name dropped him.
Obviously Jubilee. I mean, what?
Did you say Jubilee?
I'm being a smart.
Jubei, but Musashi.
Yeah, Musashi.
Okay, I think I heard it as Wasashi. Can you tell I need subtitles?
Yeah, Geo, put IRL subtitles on for Soldier, please.
Okay, so yeah, Musashi. We got that name drop, and the game looks just as incredible as it did on the first trailer. It still looks very fun, and I'm very excited for it.
Personally, hope that the next trailer gives us a release date. Hopefully.
For our next game, shouldn't be too surprising since Switch 2 is already out. We're not even going to go over this very much. It's just a little bit of something for the Switch players. We have Cyberpunk 2077 finally coming to Switch.
To Switch 2.
It's going to be on Switch 2, obviously. And of course, with the way Nintendo is playing their game, when you buy it, you're not actually going to own it. Because if you do anything near Switch, you will lose access to it completely.
Yeah,
so
they will literally break your console.
You're better off having it on PlayStation or PC or even Xbox at this point, because PCs, you can do whatever you want to them. Like, you can even switch them to Linux and be fine, still have access to all of your games. Just be careful with Linux. You have to find one that works with your graphics driver and will not be completely laggy. I'm still struggling to find that for myself. But
also for Switch 2, if you're buying it physical, you're getting a game key card. You're not getting the actual full-on physical game. Because for some reason, third party is chalked on fucking Nintendo.
And for some reason with Nintendo, physical games are non-existent anymore. They're trying to make everything digital so they can hack you in even more into their system and have you continuously not own the games. for some reason. I will say,
Uh,
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they are doing a system where you can loan a game you own to another friend, which I
which
do
I think is
admire
cool.
that system. Because you wouldn't have to mail a physical copy to your friend for them to mail it back. You can just like let them borrow it through the system itself. But I would still rather have full ownership of the game because that's the whole point of the game. Yes, you didn't create it, but you're buying it to support the developers who made the game. You're not
Hmm.
buying it to just support Nintendo, which is why I'm still completely against what Nintendo is doing.
Yeah, the only good thing Nintendo's kind of doing is their first party is all going to be like physical cartridges. You get the full game, but again, that's because Nintendo wants money.
Yeah, pretty much. Nintendo is just like seeming like they're more in it for the money, and they're getting a little bit more downhill as time goes by. Sure, Switch 2 seems like it's gonna be a great console, and they already sold a shit ton of Switch 2s.
5 million.
A shit ton of Switch 2s off the rip. Which I don't
Yep.
blame people for buying a Switch 2, because Mario Kart World still looked like a very cool and very good looking game. I still want to pick up a Switch 2 at some point, but that's going to be waiting until after my trip along with a PS5 Pro. But
Same here.
moving on, Mafia the Old Country. I'm still working on Mafia 3 and I did finish Mafia 2. Mafia 2 was good. Mafia 3 seems like it's taking the more racist side of the past, like having all the inward drops and whatnot, and I believe you're playing as a black guy in that game. It seems like a really cool, really intriguing game. But if you are very sensitive to racism, I would not recommend it. But otherwise, definitely play Mafia 3. And Mafia the Old Country seems like it's going to be a really cool Western style Mafia. I'm definitely
It's better
intrigued
than
by it.
GTA.
Mafia will always be better than GTA. I am sorry, GTA fans, but Mafia
Your
is
game's
cooler.
ass. Also, your game only sells because it looks pretty. Sorry, not sorry.
Now, Resident Evil Requiem. I don't remember anything about this, so I'll let Best Buddy take over.
Oops, shit, hold on. Okay. Anyways, Resident Evil Requiem, the next main entry in obviously the long, outstanding series of Resident Evil. It's not a sequel to Village from what I remember. Hold on a second, my shit's acting up. Get the fuck off Fortnite. Okay, there we go. Anyways, the main character, her name is Grace, and if I'm not mistaken, she is an FBI agent, which I think is cool. Always down for more female leads in games. It needs to happen. I'm sorry, but it does. It looks great. I think you are going back to Raccoon City, if I'm remembering the trailer correctly, which is always a good sign because that's literally the iconic location of Resident Evil. That's where it all started. Leon is in the game. He is not the main character. He's kind of entering his Dante arc by becoming an old man, essentially. And of course, the devs confirmed that you can switch from first person and third person, which is another good thing for me because as much as I like Village, I don't like first person perspectives in most of my games. I want to see the world around me very much so. So I'm excited for that. The gameplay does look great. It is coming out in February of 2026, so like I will probably try and pick it up. I need to see more of the game. But from the first trailer, it does look really good. I'm pretty excited. If I watched it again, I would have more intel, but my brain just... So many games. I can't remember all of them, unfortunately, but definitely a pickup for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up picking it up. I don't really play Resident Evil games all that much. I mean, it's strange to think about because I do love horror games to some extent, but I don't know. Resident Evil, just like a shooter style horror game, I couldn't really get into it that much. I like my horror games to just be like, I want to say almost defenseless, kind of like Outlast, where you're just like running around, you're exploring this area, but you don't have any means to defend yourself. You're just trying to survive and escape whatever thing you are running from.
That's where I'm the exact opposite. I feel like if I can't defend myself, then I'm basically useless, and I'm just like, not a fan.
Well, Outlast had that kind of style, like especially playing Outlast 1 on stream. Outlast 1 had that kind of style where you still had ways to get around your surroundings without getting caught. And that's something that's really interesting in horror games. It's the horror of not being able to defend yourself, and the horror of just being completely helpless if you get caught in the open. I do like those kinds of games because it gives an ominous feel of like, okay, how do I get around this? And it makes the jump scares more meaningful because you're terrified. You can't do anything. There's nothing you can do.
I don't know, Outlast compared to Resident Evil 7 specifically, the jump scares are night and day. Because Resident Evil 7, I would probably shit my pants. Like, that game terrified me. Outlast is just kind of there for me.
I mean, I shit my pants on Outlast, so I don't know what you're on about.
Well, yeah, that's you. Me. Plus, Outlast, I've seen so many people play it, I'm just like, this game doesn't scare me. If anything, it's just fun watching people shit themselves.
I mean, that was just FNAF 3 for me, though, because FNAF 3 is one of those games that was like, the jump scares were really weak, so whenever you play it yourself, you were just like, okay, that's it, that's all I get, alright, that's stupid. But when it came to the first two and the fourth installment of Five Nights at Freddy's, the jump scares were way more heavy-handed, they were better. I mean, FNAF 1 was still one of those where it was like, kind of iffy on the jump scare, but the second and fourth game, the second and fourth game definitely had really good jump scares.
I mean, every person likes their horror, how they like it. I grew up with Resident Evil. I've always just enjoyed how I can have the intense music going. I can either run around the zombies or I can kill them. There's no in between, but you're also limited on ammo, so it's like, that's another reason why I think it's as good as it is. They did it the right way compared to most games where you know, have all this ammo or whatever. Like The Last of Us, it's like, I can pretty much not die if I just do what I want, in a way. Whereas Resident Evil, you actually had to be careful with what you're doing.
Yeah, which brings us to our next game, Mortal Shell 2. I already don't remember. Okay, shit. That game, that was the first trailer in Summer Games Fest, and that game looked intense. I actually wrote this down. The game did not interest me that much, but what interested me was the style they were going for. They had so much gore and violence in that game alone. There is a lot of different kill scenes you can see. That game just had it all. But at the same time, it looked like it had kind of a Soul style element, which kind of put me off because I'm not good with Soul games.
I will say I don't quite remember if Mortal Shell is a Soul style game, but I do see how it can be perceived as that, because again, Souls is just, for God knows what reason, becoming like taking over the fucking industry and how games are gonna be made. And it's like, I don't want Soul style games. I can handle hard games, but Souls is just like, you might as well beat yourself up simulator instead, because fuck.
Throw your controller simulator. Which brings us to our next game, Chronicles Medieval. Now, this one was like one of the more least creative titles I've seen throughout everything, but I saw what they were going for, and I really liked the medieval style. They had really nice medieval shiny armor, they had swords, bows, of course, because
medieval penis.
They had a lot of medieval stuff in there, riding horses, an army of knights. It looked cool, but of course there's a lot of other medieval games out there where you can already do similar things in that kind of perspective, like what was that one medieval game called from, I think it might have been a couple years ago, maybe? I don't remember. But there is already a similar game out there. It's not too unique, but it's not too... It stands out a little bit enough to where I think I could potentially give it a try if it's on discount. But the next game on our list, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm definitely picking that up full price. That game looks amazing.
I definitely am excited for the game. I will pick it up, probably not full price, just because, like, if I'm not mistaken, that comes out in the fall, and again, I'm going to be busy with 3 other games. I'm not even going to have time to play Sonic Cross Worlds right away, so if I pick it up for full price, it's because that's the only way I can get it. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to be waiting probably a good while, but trailer looked great, and again, we have freaking Hatsune Miku in a fucking racing game. Like, what the hell? Before GTA 6? What do we do?
Hatsune Miku definitely caught me off guard. I mean, I don't listen to her music. I don't know anything about Hatsune Miku other than like what's been perceived on Fortnite and how Jade in Animations explained her. Shout out to Jade Animations. She's a very big fan of Hatsune Miku. Me personally, I tried looking into her music. I'm kind of iffy on it. It's just not my style. But
that's Crimson style.
I can see the appeal. But I'm definitely picking up Sonic Racing Worlds. It'll be a nice game to do, like, on the side of story games. Like, good little thing to take a break from story games on. It looks very cool.
I'm just saying we should stream that, though.
Sonic Racing
just to risk. Yeah, just to have some sort of casual stream going.
True. We don't play enough casual games. Whenever we play multiplayer together, it's just Fortnite. We need more.
No, really though.
Which brings us to our next game.
Wait, hold on. I ain't done yet. Shut the fuck up, so you're stalling.
I was transitioning to the next multiplayer game because I think Code Vein was multiplayer.
But before we transition, I do want to point out if you love Yakuza or Persona, you have Joker and Ichiban to choose as racers as well, which I think is fantastic. Okay, now we can transition.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did have more to it than just that, but yeah, I haven't played as any of the Yakuza games, but yeah, I can see how those are. But yes. Speaking of multiplayer games we could potentially get into, we do have Code Vein 2 coming out as well, which definitely seems like a very interesting, very spooky world. I haven't even played much of Code Vein 1, but I do remember trying out like a demo of it. I think we have the full game now on PlayStation. Not like I can play
I think we do.
But it seems like it's going to be very cool, very awesome.
I am very intrigued by it, that is for sure.
I was intrigued by Code Vein 1, because like Code Vein 1 had a really cool system and you could actually create your own character. And of course, like any other like RPG world exploring kind of game, there's a lot of really cool gear to be had.
Yes,
I'm sure they'll have that in Code Vein 2 as well. Which brings us to our next game. This one might not be multiplayer, but it's Mouse PI for Hire, which brings us back to the old style black and white. Now, this one was a bit interesting to me. The old style black and white cartoon style. That fascinated me because I think it was purely made because Mickey Mouse is now an open IP, so he might show up somewhere.
That variant of Mickey anyways.
Probably, yeah. But what interested me was that while it was a shooter, it had a cartoon style to it. And I think I might end up picking it up. I don't think I'll pick it up full price. I'll probably pick it up on like a sale. But that is definitely one I want to try and get into. That game seemed fascinating.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be on sale for sure for me. It looked pretty cool. Next game on our list. Okay, Jesus, how many indie games did you write down here?
Are they all indie?
I don't know anything about the cube, but here we are. We'll transition to that. I'll just
Okay.
let Soldier take it away till I can say words.
Well, for our next transition, we have the cube. This one seemed interesting. I kind of just skimmed through it. I skimmed through a lot of these. But, like, the first introduction I got of it, it seemed kind of conspiratorial. They had a lot of, like, conspiracies about the cube within the game. I don't know what it's gonna be about, and if I'm gonna end up playing it, it'll probably be on a discounted price. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're just in a cube that showed up from out of nowhere, and conspiracies say it was there the whole time, it just now decided to reveal itself. So yeah.
Fair enough.
That's
Anyways.
about it there. I don't know much
We're
about it, because the game that truly interests me is it's a little bit later on in the list.
But we're gonna blah 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 blah. We're gonna transition over to off-branded Marvel token fighting souls called Marvel Comic Invasions. It's basically either, I want to say it's like what, 8-bit, 16-bit variant of the cooler game that was showed at State of Play.
Yeah.
It looked kind of interesting.
It looks mildly interesting, and of course you can play as Rocket Raccoon and all these other characters in there. But it had more of like an arcade game style to it than the token fighting souls. Which is why after seeing Token Fighting Souls, the interest suddenly kind of dropped for me, because I'm like, okay, this game looks better than this game.
Yeah, no, the interest definitely dropped, because I remember watching that. I mean, obviously I watched Data Play first, but I remember seeing Cosmic Invasion, and I was like, man, it looks okay, but you literally have Sony doing a way better Marvel fighting game right now. What are we doing?
Yeah, honestly,
Like,
I don't know who's working on Cosmic Invasion. I already forgot, but I'm not as interested anymore as I was. I was only interested in it at first, since I was just skimming through State at Summer Games Fest. I went up the list. But I was interested in it at first because I was like, okay, a Marvel fighting game could be interesting. But I think now I'll probably skim through it. Maybe I'll play through it at some point, but I'm definitely playing Token Fighting Souls first.
Yeah, we're gonna be grinding Token Fighting Souls. That's all our streams are gonna be. Onimusha's canceled.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're no longer playing a really cool 3D style fighting RPG game. We're only playing our Token Fighting Souls. We're only fighting games now.
Yeah, but only fighting games, and it's Marvel only until Mortal Kombat gets it together.
So, next on our list, this is one I was more interested in than Hero, because I don't know, but Killer
which is funny.
The game is called Killer Inn. I was very interested in it because, like, we need better games out there like Clue. And that's what this game is. It's basically a really cool, really intense, and over-the-top style murder mystery where there's so much you can do to either find or take out the other survivors. Either find out who did the kill, or find out how to do your next kill. And I think that's interesting to me. I think it's fascinating. It's going to be a way better than... It looks like it's going to be better than Among Us or any of those other top games that do murder mystery. I'd say Among Us wasn't fun, but I don't have friends.
Part of the reason why I didn't care for it is because the studio who's doing it could have put out anything else besides a murder mystery, and I would have been way happier about it.
Oh, but, I forgot to pay attention. Who's the studio that made it?
Da 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 da. Square.
Right. I was I don't know why my brain stopped for a second. I mean, Square Enix could have, but I think it's cool they're dabbling into the murder mystery scene as well. And they're putting clues around that you can find as the survivor or the ram, I think they call it ram, the goat, I don't remember, one of those two. They're putting out clues for you to find as the survivor. Like, you can find clues whenever a murder happens and try and pin it on the actual killer, which I thought was pretty cool. It definitely puts a little bit more aspect than Among Us, because in Among Us there were no clues for you to look at. The only clues you had was like, okay, you found a body in this location, you reported it, let's see where the killer, let's see who was around that area before. Which the killer can easily lie about, unless someone else was in that location they said that they're trying to say that they were in. But this one seems like it's going to be a lot more straightforward, where you're looking for clues and actually pinning it on the actual killer, rather than just going off of a whim.
Honestly, I'd rather go off the whim. I prefer the chaos, but
I mean, there's definitely, this game still looked like there was going to be chaos for sure. Even as the killer or as the wolf, there is a lot of chaos to be had. You can kill people in so many chaotic ways, it looked like.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shout, because again, Square is... they're not everyone's favorite studio. They're still personally my favorite, because I grew up with everything they've ever done. So I will definitely give it a shout, because it is them, and because I do think they could still do games right. And I still think people really still need to give Rebirth an actual chance now that it's coming to more platforms. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
Xbox, cough, cough, Switch too.
I do intend to eventually pick up Rebirth at some point so I can replay through it. But I'm thinking of getting both Remake Integrate and Rebirth so I can play through both.
Probably should. But
yeah,
with
Killer in out of the way, we got Chrono Odyssey.
This is a game I personally...
I gotta look it up.
I don't remember what the trailer showed, but I do remember having, just for some reason, having a strong interest in this game. God, I wish I could remember it. I just remember liking it because the name was cool to me. Hold on, I'm gonna...
It's not the name. There was something interesting in there that I saw that made me need to note it down.
It's not...
Okay, so from this bar alone, it looks like it's taking kind of an MMORPG element.
It is. That, I do remember that. Okay, is the trailer? The new trailer? I think so.
Okay, but yeah, it looked pretty cool. It had some very interesting stuff in there.
It definitely looks really cool. It's definitely very RPG heavy. And of course, I'm an RPG whore. I can't help it. I want to play RPGs most. Definitely on my list. Don't know if I'll pick it up full price or not, but it's on there. Some of these really depend on the time frame as well, because like, again, depending on if these games release around Onimusha, yeah, they're probably getting skipped for a while.
Yeah, it'll all vary for me, but this game definitely looks very cool. And next on our list we have Out of Worlds, which I also need to look up because I forgot why I noted it down. There are so many games on here, I just gotta look it up.
Yeah, I don't remember all of them either. That's the problem with trying to cover all of this. It's like, if you all want to do your own podcast, definitely gotta do the research, which I don't mind doing, but like when Summer Games Fest comes around, it's hard because you have to remember everything. And it's like, holy shit.
Remember what interested you. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember why I noted down Out of Worlds. It just looks like a Fallout style shooter, and that's just like not my style.
But also, one last thing about Chrono Odyssey is if it is multiplayer, I'm definitely probably gonna play it with Soldier a lot. I've always wanted an RPG to play that I didn't have to pay for a subscription.
Oh. It's part of Next Fest. What you're about to see next is a stop motion. Everything has... I'm on...
Oh, that's why. Okay, Out of Worlds was a multiplayer, a two-player sort of game. Like, It Takes Two kind of thing, but...
It Takes Two is
a different
really
kind
fun.
of element. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I noted that down because it's like a potential game me and Hero could play together, finally, other than Fortnite.
Yeah, definitely need more multiplayer games.
Yeah, we really do.
Like, I'll definitely pick up Sonic for sure at some point. But I know it's releasing around 3 games I'm going to be playing a lot of.
I'm going to try and pick up Sonic as soon as I can. It really depends on how all of these other games release. But up next on our list is Fractured Blooms. That one had a really interesting kind of first-person element to it that added a bit of ominous to the game. It seems like a bit of a horror game, not like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. Although, if those games released first, I'm probably picking up Silent Hill 100%. But I will end up picking up Fractured Blooms at some point, depending on when it releases, because I definitely want to try it, check it out.
I know Silent Hill has a release date, because it's on pre-order already, so... Actually, as a matter of fact, I can look up that release date. Where are we at here? Where the hell? Silent Hill, where the fuck are you on the PlayStation Store? I know you're here, because I literally looked you up not that. Oh, there we are. Silent Hill F. Release date, September 25th, 2025. Definitely will pick that up at some point, but again, that's releasing around Borderlands 4, Ghost of Yotei, and Final Fantasy Tactics, so it's another waiting game for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna add Fractured Blooms, because there's definitely some interesting element of horror in there that I want to explore at some point. But, moving aside from that, we got Acts of Blood.
That one, I'm pretty sure I remember liking.
I
remember
what it was. So Acts of Blood was very cool looking, and the metal music that they were playing, it didn't have any like screamers in it. It just had like metal style instrumental. That was badass. I was bobbing my head as I was watching the chaos of fighting ensue. That game looks awesome though. I'll probably end up picking it up and sucking at it, but we'll see what happens. It looks very cool.
I do remember that actually. Now, I'll probably pick it up too, I think, if it is releasing on PlayStation, because some of these games I think are only like PC, which is, it is what it is.
I think that one should be releasing on console, because to some, fighting with a controller can be easier, especially when you're fighting from a third person where you can freely move the camera. I think it would be better if they had a console element for it. But that brings us to our next game, which I am definitely intrigued by, or last game especially, Game of Thrones, War for Westeros. So I only watched a snippet of Game of Thrones because the episodes are a movie, literally. They're an hour-long episodes. So I only watched a few episodes and was able to watch those few episodes. But what I saw of Game of Thrones, I loved. And Peter Dinklage did great. His character was probably my second favorite. Who was my first? I don't remember. I just remember that Peter Dinklage was the House Dane, I think. The Purple House.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game of Thrones War for Westeros. Definitely gonna try and pick that up at some point. I don't know when it's releasing, but I do for sure want to play it. It looks cool. What more can I say?
I might not play it. I've watched all of Game of Thrones though. Literally, season 8 was bad.
Well, yeah, I have heard that the show ended on a very bad note, but it did have very strong notes throughout the series, and I'm having some decent hopes for a video game of Game of Thrones.
But honestly, I'm not a big Game of Thrones guy. I probably won't grab the game. I mean, honestly, Final Fantasy, if I want Game of Thrones, Final Fantasy 16 is way too similar to that in almost every regard. So, it is what it is for me. I'll pass.
Well, there's a few things Final Fantasy is missing that Game of Thrones has, but I can see your point.
Oh no, it's literally, even the developers have said it's very inspired by Game of Thrones. Like, it's not really that far off.
Oh no, I don't doubt it, but...
And trust me, had you beat FF16, you would see that influence way towards, like, the second half of the game.
Probably. I don't know, I kept falling asleep through it, so I was just like, I can't. But that ends our Summer Games Fest set of games. That ends the biggest list on our gaming talk. So all we have left is Xbox Games Showcase. We'll get to the bad side of Xbox later, but first we have to start with the cool games they featured on their showcase, at the very least. Starting with High on Life 2. I played High on Life 1. I loved it. It was very good, very quirky. I loved the talking guns that you could have interact with you. And I love that they're expanding upon those, adding more talking weapons. They have a talking dagger I saw. Now, the most chaotic part of that game, which might put me off a little bit when I finally get it, is the skateboarding element. That looked like chaos, and the whole trailer was shot through skateboard, making it seem like your entire gameplay is going to be on that skateboard. I hope that's not the case, because I'm honestly, personally, I would rather use the skateboard for just like some sort of mobility to get from point A to point B faster. But it looked cool, and I would probably every once in a while use the skateboard if it's optional through combat, but not always, because if anything, I'm mainly gonna focus on that talking bow. Like, they're actually gonna have a talking compound bow, and that looked amazing, honestly. Silly, but amazing.
I do doubt the entire thing will be on skateboard. I don't know if that was the first trailer. That probably was the first trailer.
It was.
I would have to rewatch it, because I'm pretty sure there's parts where they were not on a skateboard.
There was one part I can recall where they were not on a skateboard, but they were falling after shooting the talking bow, and they had coins falling on them, I believe. They were falling into like some kind of hole, if I can remember right. But
I don't know. I gotta rewatch the trailer again, but I am pretty excited for it. I still need to play the first game. I just love the fact that the gun in the first game sounds like Morty, so I have hopes for the second game.
I am surprised you didn't hijack the first game from me, because I have it. I bought it.
I did. I just never played it.
I ended up playing through it and beating it. I did enjoy it a lot. There were some really fun, quirky guns in the game. There were some really fun quirks within it. I loved it a lot. I won't be surprised if I end up picking up High on Life 2 at this point, because I did enjoy High on Life 1, and I'm excited to see what new gun dialogue we get from each weapon. Although there was one bratty weapon I did not like using in Half-Life 1. I don't remember which one. High on Life, not Half-Life, sorry.
Geo, blow him up.
Geo, blow me up. Just look, blow up English as well. Blow up the English dictionary.
But yeah, there's not enough that can be said, but I am excited. The bow and just everything in between looked really cool to me, so
yeah. And there was some really cool looking skateboard combat on there, but again, I hope it's optional, because most of that trailer was shot with skateboard combat, which was definitely interesting to me, but not my style of it. But I'll manage. If I do have to fight most of the game on a skateboard, I'll manage. I'll work around it. Because I am excited to hear the guns dialogue again, just like in the first game where you had sentient talking weapons. I thought that was pretty cool.
For sure.
I'm excited to see what dialogue they'll have for the knife. Born to stab, just like the sentient switchblade from Beth.
Yeah, very excited for it.
So the next game on our list is Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy. I'll let Hero take this over while I Google it.
1 second. Okay, so I hurried up, skimmed through the trailer. It was not mostly shot on a skateboard. There was segments, but that's it. So you are actually on ground. You shoot the gun, and you're still walking. Anyways, I don't remember a whole lot about Resonance. I reskinned through a lot of this, unfortunately, just to remember games at this point. I remember liking it. It was pretty bloody from what I remember. But I think it was medieval. Again, I don't remember all of this, fortunately.
Okay. So I'm like skimming through some images here. It does look cool. It definitely looks like it has a very cool and very crazy world to look at. It almost looks like Aloy for a second. Sorry. So I'm definitely interested in to see what this game has to offer. I'm probably not gonna play it right away because again, there's a lot of games to go over here. But it has some very interesting elements. It might be a kind of puzzle game by the looks of this picture here that you can't see. But other than that, I want to say maybe. It's a maybe for me, Jim.
It's definitely a maybe, but mostly if that maybe is a yes, it'll probably be a game for me.
So next up on our list, which is something I am gonna eventually pick up, I don't know when, is the Xbox ROG, their new handheld device. I'm definitely gonna try to pick one up, I don't know when, and it's probably going to be cheaper than getting a Steam Deck. The reason why I haven't picked up a Steam Deck because like I'm already good enough at mouse and keyboard. Granted, a Steam Deck is a lot cheaper than getting a full-on PC, but
it is, but it's
not quite a very decent option for me to get a Steam Deck at this point since I'm already working on the PC.
It's also very clunky. Like I get why people say Steam Deck has some sort of we'll say appeal to it, but I'm also like looking at it and knowing it's a 720p, kind of disappointed. So definitely think I want the Xbox handheld more because I do want to point out because there's stands out there. It's not actually being made by Xbox. Just as a spoiler, but it does have the Xbox library on there. You can get Steam and Epic games on there. So again, it's like it's already better than the Steam Deck. So I will most likely definitely pick one up. Because if I'm ever like on the road or whatever, I can just bring that with me, honestly. And also, during that trailer, they low-key confirmed the Hollow Knight's sequel, Folk Song, basically being released sometime around the holidays. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay. So yeah, the Xbox Ally, as it's called, the ROG Xbox Ally, it's definitely going to be one worth getting for me because, yeah, there's going to be a lot of ways I can play games mobily. So it's definitely going to be something to have around with me whenever I'm traveling and I still want to be able to play games. I'll definitely have that with me. Or whenever I'm leaving town or staying over at a friend's house. That'll be more convenient to bring with me than a full-blown console or full-blown PC.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Soldier and I are gonna be traveling to the Game Awards at some point, and you're like, oh well, we're not gonna. No point in carrying this console around or this PC around.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna try and drag this big ass box of a PC to Ethan's or Hero's. Geo, cut that out.
No, Geo, cut that. Yeah, he's trying to dox me over here.
Yeah, Geo, don't let me dox my best buddy here. Hold on.
But for real, it's definitely gonna be easier. Like, I'm not gonna drag, because by the time we go to the Game Awards, which I hope next year, I think that's when I'm gonna try planning. Definitely not gonna carry a PS5 Pro around, because that's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so this one's definitely going to be a must, and I really hope that the price will be affordable, because I'm definitely, already off the bat, I'm aiming for the 24 gigabyte RAM with 1 terabyte of storage. I'm definitely going to be aiming for that, and I hope there will be a way to do like an alternative kind of storage so I can expand it by like 2 or 3 more terabytes.
I only need 2. Having that many terabytes is just too much, but
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you can have whatever you want on there on the bright side.
I can already have pretty much all that with 2 terabytes. But
I
regardless,
already have so much on my PC. You should see my PC storage.
But yeah, I heard the price was supposed to be like $450, so I was like, you know, that's just easy change, honestly.
Oh, I've already used a good portion of my new volume gaming storage too. I have 3 terabytes free out of 5.
It's just insanity. You don't even play half the games on your storage.
I am insane. I even have the Seagate, which has 1 terabyte free, which has not even 1 terabyte free. But that one doesn't have very many games on. Oh yeah, it does. That one has my other games on it. Never mind, I'm an idiot. But outside of that, yeah. I'm a storage whore. I am a whore for having as much games as possible collected on my systems. Anyway. All that aside, next up we have The Blood of Dawnwalker. Okay, I don't remember too much about it, but I remember a decent bit. That game was fascinating for sure. I don't know if I'll end up picking it up, but I do know I'll probably end up picking it up.
I probably will as well. Actually, I'm gonna skim the trailer real quickly.
I'm just skimming through a few images real quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that game definitely looked very cool. There were some very interesting elements in it. Of course, it's another slashing game, but I mean, what's not fun to have about slashing games?
They cannot find a new trailer to save my life. Either way, I do remember it looked pretty cool. It was a hack and slash. It looked pretty satisfying. And again, I do.
And they have vampires, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's right. It did have vampires and shit. Yeah, that game was crazy. That game was very crazy. Like the vampires thing definitely clicked with me. I was like, okay, yeah, now I remember. I definitely probably will pick it up on sale. Because again, a lot of this depends on release windows, because there's games I'm going to prioritize a lot more. Like again, fall is going to be busy. Onimusha's release date is going to be very important for a lot of these games, to be quite honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really got much to say there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't have much to say about the game either. So that brings us to our next installment, which is finally a new sequel for Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, Gaiden these ninjas across your nuts. I mean, what? I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4. Yeah, that's what I meant. The game looks fantastic.
These nuts on your face. Okay. Anyway.
Game definitely looks fantastic. God, it's been so long since I played Ninja Gaiden. I need to play the 2 remaster because Geo, cut that out. Vampire grabbed the game, so I need to steal it off his account after I finish Doom. The Dark Ages, fantastic game.
I'm gonna need to pick up an earlier version of Ninja Gaiden because I remember being disappointed by it at one point, not because of the game itself, but because it wasn't the game I was looking for. Because there's another ninja game out there that's actually really well made, but it's really old at this point. There was a demo for it on Xbox 360 that I remember playing, and I kept trying to re-find that, and I've already lost it again, despite all of my 4 other attempts at finding it successfully. I keep forgetting the name of it because it has such a confusing name to remember. That's a really cool ninja game where you quite literally are a ninja. Obviously, it's the time of that game.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
But you're doing actual ninja things. You're sneaking around, you're eavesdropping on conversations, and you're actually sneak killing people and hiding the bodies in unexpected places where they won't be found.
Wait a minute. I've heard this plot before. Ubisoft has a game exactly like it called Assassin's Creed.
Yes,
just an assassin, not a ninja.
Like Assassin's Creed, but it's a little, I want to say it's a little bit more advanced.
It depends. Valhalla's fairly advanced, so. No, probably more advanced than the first 3, probably, because the first 3 are old.
It was very advanced. You could even hide underwater, but with a snorkel. There was a lot to that game.
Okay, yeah, modern Assassin's Creed also has that, so it definitely is advanced for its time. Just like the original Final Fantasy VII was advanced for its time.
I wouldn't be surprised if it inspired Assassin's Creed, because I think it might have came before one of them. I don't know which one. But it's a fairly,
one was
fairly
like an
old
06,
game.
07 game.
Fairly old, because I did find it around that time frame. I think my brother was playing it, Vex Tunic. He got into it at one point, and I was watching him play it. I was like, this game looks awesome. And it started a little bit of a ninja obsession for me.
Ninjas are dope, I can't lie to you. I do love me. I mean, shit, Naruto exists. And I know, not the same type of ninja, but they're still ninjas.
They are very cool ninjas. But that brings us to our next game, Beast of Reincarnation, which
this was the Game Freak game. This was the new Game Freak game. Oh my god. I cannot express to you how much I hate Nintendo right now because of this game. This caused me to have such an A-voter because Pokemon could be so much better. So much better. You have this freaking... It's an RP... Wait, what? What are you over there?
Oh! Right, yeah. Okay, I know what you're saying here now.
Yeah. But, yeah, this is the Game Freak game. It looks so good. I don't remember if the dev said what the combat was going to be about. I did hear... Or, well, I guess I did hear it. I heard rumors it was Souls-like, but I don't know. I just know the world and everything just so good. It's like, this is what I want. This is without Nintendo being in your ear. Literally. This
is one of the coolest looking games. I gotta say, Game Freak went all out on this. A new action RPG, and you have a white wolf companion with you as opposed to the usual Pokemon companion. Not that I mind having a Pokemon companion either. Like, I am excited to see what they do to the new generation of Pokemon coming out. Was it XYZ thingy? CYX?
It's just Legends EA. It's
Yeah.
It's basically
it's basically
the
going
Kalos region.
From what I can tell, it's going back to X, Y, and Z's era to some extent, but it's going a bit more advanced with it, and there's going to be Mega Evolutions again, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, you're going back to the Kalos region. It is obviously inspired by Legends Arceus, given the namesake. It looks great. If anything, I'll wait until I have a Switch 2 to play it, because again, Switch 1 is just becoming a dumpster fire of technological power.
It is. I am excited to check it out. I'll eventually pick up a Switch 2 just for the sake of checking out X, Y, and or ZA. I mean,
yeah, Legends.
I'm looking very much forward to it. And but this game, outside of that, looks fantastic. Beast of Reincarnation is definitely gonna be a pickup for me. 100%. I gotta get it.
Same. This is the equivalent of, hey look, Nintendo's not yelling into my ear. I can actually make a damn fucking beautiful game. Like, literally, playing that on a PS5 Pro, I'm gonna melt. I'm going to literally melt. I'm so excited. I cannot express that enough. Go check out the trailer. Go fucking look what Game Freak can do. Just look at it. Look at it! Yeah. Look at it!
Game Freak has way more capabilities than we gave them credit for, only because Nintendo wasn't letting them go full on with it like this. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. I love it, and I'm excited to check it out. I'm definitely checking it out at some point.
What's crazy is that's the first trailer. Like, next trailer we're gonna get, it's gonna be even more polished. So it's gonna look even better. And it's like, how is this possible? How is this meant to be like this?
Oh yeah, I did wishlist it. Hell yeah.
I wishlist it as well.
It's published by Fictions, but that's fine. Game Freak, I'm excited for you. I'm very happy for you to move on from Pokemon games finally. Very well done looking game. I am excited to have this wolf companion with me in every way.
I'm gonna name it Best Buddy.
I mean, I am a wolf boy, so that makes sense. So, that brings us to our next one on our list. Clockwork Revolution, which I need to Google.
Clockwork Revolution. Dabs, I don't remember shit. That's actually one of the ones I kind of skimmed over.
I think this was one I told you to write down because I was like, ooh,
it was.
Okay, this looks interesting.
But yes, go buy Beast of Reincarnation.
So it's like a kind of weird little robot world. I think the reason why I told you to write it down was because the main character that we're playing as put a doll in his pocket that was screaming at him. But there was also some really interesting elements. It obviously goes back to clockwork technology, which is fascinating to me.
Clockwork technology. It did look cool. I do slightly remember it. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the clockwork technology, if I'm being honest. Like, this fucking grenade launcher looks like it has a watch on the handle. It's very weird. Very weird looking technology, but it has some really cool stuff in it, and I'm fascinated by it.
So fascinating. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that a lot, aren't I? You know what, Geo? When this episode releases, when we air this episode, just make a whole compilation of me saying fascinated throughout all of this. I guarantee you'll find a lot of it. Don't do that right now. Don't do that right now. Finish this episode first.
This is how you know we skipped through this, because like if we did it fresh off Summer Games Fest, I would be able to deep dive more. But no, I skimmed through it. I mostly talk about what appealed to me. So if you guys are kind of bored, I'm sorry.
This is Xbox games.
I know. I still skimmed through it though. Like it's still part of Summer Games Fest week. Like that's what the premise is Summer Games Fest weekend.
I mean, yeah. But as far as we also got Gears of War Reloaded. I didn't skim through this too much because this game was fairly interesting. This game looked really cool. I haven't played much Gears of War, but this game did look pretty cool. As much as I played with Gears of War was back on the Xbox 360 Slim, where you touch the button and it turned on rather than pushing the button. But
yeah, turn me on. Wait, what?
When and where? I mean, anyway. So yeah, Gears of War looked cool. It had a very cool looking story, very badass looking shit going on in that game.
Honestly, I'm excited for this. The biggest takeaway outside the fact that it is getting remastered is another Xbox IP is coming to PlayStation. And we're getting, if you have the Pro specifically for the PlayStation side of things, you get 120 frames for multiplayer. I think that's always a big deal because multiplayer, you need those frames, in my opinion. But I am very excited. It does look great. I don't know when. I could technically pick it up now, but again, I need a little more money for Ghost of Yotei, and that's way more prioritized right now. But if Vampire picks it up, I'll play through it with them because it is co-op campaign. I'm very excited for.
Do you know if it's crossplay? I might have to pick it up if it has crossplay.
Hold on. Actually, I will. I'm gonna Google that real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, so there is apparently no crossplay, which is very disappointing.
That is very disappointing, because I know I cannot play with you guys unless I have a Pro, which is not happening anytime soon.
There, granted, I am trying to find maybe a better article.
We'll worry about it later, but up next we have Final Fantasy 7 Remake and 16 coming to somewhere.
Coming to Xbox officially.
Right.
Again, as much as I give Xbox shit, I do want to see the franchise not die, and I don't think it will. At least I hope not. Again, play Rebirth, cough. But but again, if you are an Xbox fan, you do like Final Fantasy, I will recommend Remake with my heart and soul. Even though Rebirth clears it a lot, I know it's coming to Xbox. Like they done confirmed that.
Honestly, I would recommend both Remake and Rebirth. It's still fairly important to play through Remake first, so you get the Midgar story and how we transition to outside of Midgar.
Yeah, but they haven't officially announced Rebirth yet. Technically, it was just a developer interview. But yes, get Remake. 16 is also available now. I second playthrough gave me mixed emotions, but the boss fights where you freaking turn into Ifrit, fantastic. Love them. The story, it's a mixed bag for me. It's one of those where it starts off strong, the middle is kind of crappy, it falls apart. The ending, fantastic. So it's like if you just take out the middle and just go from beginning to end, definitely a great story. But otherwise, it's kind of the middle of the pack Final Fantasy. Like, I love it more than 15, love it more than 2, love it more than 3, maybe like 2 others, but it's not like in my top 5 at all. But it is solid. I do give it a, I still recommend it, especially if you're a first timer to the series. Play the game. It's not terrible, but it's not my personal favorite. And again, remake, play it. Just play it. The gameplay is great. God tier. Love it. Don't even care.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can't get into 16 very easily, because I know I'm at the same boat, you are for sure guaranteed to get into FF7 Remake and Rebirth if you're into that style of gameplay. If you're into the action RPG style, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth both did it best. Because they also had a little bit of turn-based element to it that I think people sleep on. Because I've heard some complaints about the FF7 Remake and Rebirth like combat system. I'm like, people are sleeping on that combat system. It is so fucking good.
They are definitely sleeping on it. I mean, and 16 is also action based, but 16 is literally hack and slash, unfortunately. Whereas Remake and Rebirth, you actually have to think. And I know, if I remember talking about this with Remake, if it came out to Soldier, a lot of people were like, it's a hack and slash game. All you do is run around with Cloud and you kill enemies. It's like, okay, yeah, I can tell you didn't play the game.
Yeah, I can tell you didn't play enough of the game. Because there is more to it. You can actually cast spells, you can use abilities, and you can combine abilities with... That's in Remake, but you can actually combine... You can do synergy abilities with the other characters on your team. Like my personal favorite being Red 13 and Yuffie. Those two have my favorite synergy abilities. God, they are so good.
They are so good. I love the Cloud and Tifa ones, but Red 13, oh my god.
Red 13 meshes with everyone. I love seeing Red 13 mesh with everyone with his synergy on them. I love it. Even the synergy with the cat, Kate Sith.
Yeah.
I'll get it right eventually.
Catchy, as some people like to enunciate it for no reason. But anyways, yeah, no, great game. When Rebirth does get announced, because it will most likely come to Switch too, as well as Xbox, go play it. It's definitely one of the best RPGs to ever come out.
Yeah,
and again, obviously, play Remake.
On it.
Literally though, but enough of Final Fantasy. I won't shut up if I keep talking about it.
We never do. So we're moving on to Mudang, which is another game I need to look up so I can remember. Because I think I had you note that one down too, because you forgot about it.
Yeah, I meant to jot it down. It does look interesting. I don't have, again, we skimmed through so much, I don't have enough to really say about some of these things.
So, I initially thought this was Japanese, but looking at it more, I think it's Korean. It looks interesting. It's gonna be a shooter, of course. I think a good amount of this shit on our list is shooter. But this one looks like it took place in an interesting timeline, and I'm almost worried it might have a similar kind of story with Kim Jong-un. And I don't know where that's gonna go.
So yes, it is Korean. I looked it up.
Okay, I thought so because I saw a snippet of text. I was like, wait, that's not Japanese. I think that was Korean text.
It's being developed in South Korea as well, so.
Ooh, that ought to be interesting. Yeah, I am definitely gonna try and pick this up. It won't be a priority because we've already gone over my priorities earlier in this episode, but it's up there. And then I'll let Hero say a few things about the game before I transition.
I don't really have, I don't have much to say because in my mind, I'm hearing mood ding, and the only thing I'm thinking about is freaking Cassidy from Overwatch saying, "It's mood ding time." But yeah, I don't have much to say. Yeah, there's no words.
Well, okay then. Didn't give me time to look up the next one. So next we got Solo Leveling, Arise Overdrive. That
Yeah,
game looked pretty cool. It's an anime style game. It doesn't look bad. In fact, it looks pretty cool. Again, I don't think it'll be prioritized, but I'm definitely gonna be looking deeper into it and getting a better idea of what it could be about. Although I'm gonna be honest, what I'm looking at right now looks kind of like a Fortnite skin.
You might be looking at Fortnite skin, but Soul Leveling is also one of my favorite modern day animes. It's a modern day anime. It's a great one. Me and my brother call him the one that's the Xbox simp. I literally don't remember his username. I'm just gonna say Death. I'm just gonna say Death Kitty because that's what he went by for a while when he was on 360. So Death Kitty loves the anime. I love the anime. I'm pretty sure this game is a fighting game. I don't remember very well, but I'm fairly excited. But again, most of the time, unless it's Naruto, I'm not gonna prioritize it right away. It's kind of like middle tier for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up right away, but it was definitely interesting. And I think with that is everything. So, conclusion. There's a bajillion games that seem interesting, but not all of them are going to be prioritized. I think the biggest priority for us comes from Onimusha Way of the Sword. And for me, Mafia the Old Country, I'm definitely going to try and get at some point. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I'm definitely going to try and pick that up.
That was definitely... I mean, Sonic would be more priority for me, but again, it's coming around. Borderlands 4, Ghost of Yotai, Final Fantasy Tactics. Those are literally my big three right now.
Yeah, and I think, well, for big three, I definitely gotta go Onimusha Way of the Sword, Silent Hill F, and, what was it? Beast of Reincarnation. I think that's my top three that I want to get immediately.
Okay. Beast of Reincarnation is definitely going to get up there because again, I already have my big three pre-ordered. Like Ghost of Yotai isn't too far away for me to get. So yeah, but outside of that, definitely Beast of Reincarnation, Ninja Gaiden 4 because I do want to get into that series. And do I even have a third game that's coming out next year?
Onimusha Way of the Sword.
I already said that.
Did you? Oh wait, no, but you named two games. You didn't name a third.
I don't know, because I don't care for GTA 6. I'm sorry, people. I don't have interest. I don't care if it's coming out next year.
Yeah. So, conclusion, out of all of the games that we've talked about, those are our priorities. I'm definitely going to prioritize Silent Hill F and, there was another one.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil Requiem. That would be my... Duh.
And Digimon Time Stranger is definitely going to be up there somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm definitely going to be picking that up at some point. It's all a matter of like how much I prioritize them. I definitely want to prioritize Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls as well.
That one would also...
And depending on when High on Life 2 comes out, I'm prioritizing that as well. In fact, hold up. How much is High on Life on Steam right now if it's on discount?
Definitely a lot of games. Like my big three, definitely for next year would probably be Onimusha,
$20,
Tokon.
I'll wait until after.
Ninja Gaiden.
Because this ends
maybe even Ninja Gaiden
hours.
4. Maybe Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't know yet, but like definitely, it's hard to pick a big three when I already have three coming out that I finally have.
Yeah, but there is still one more thing left for us to talk about. Xbox, despite you having a good show, we need to talk.
We do. And I want to point this out because I've had people bring this up to me in any sort of discussion that is an Xbox head or just loves Microsoft. I get it. They are the richest company in the world. That is official. But if you're the richest company in the world, why did you just fire 9,000 more employees? Because I know it's layoff, but it's basically the same thing. You can't work with them anymore, essentially. unless they rehire you. And it's just stupid. It's not helping move this industry forward. You're just setting us back because you want to, because you won't pay your employees, and some of these employees don't even get to release their game, so you don't even know how they're gonna do. Like, Perfect Dark was one I was fairly interested in. I played the original back in the day, and I was pretty excited. That game's no longer coming because Xbox like, whoop, you're gone, screw you. And it's like, wow, okay, you're cool. You're being a piece of crap. I'm pretty sure your total amount of layoffs has hit 10,000 plus. And it's like, what are you doing? You're basically making me lose a lot of trust. And I don't want that. I want Xbox to succeed, but they're just not doing it. They can't keep up with PlayStation. They can't keep up with Nintendo, even though Nintendo, to me, is held together by glue sticks sometimes. And it's a mess. It's like, what are you doing? You can't pay employees. You literally laid off people from Call of Duty. Which is, unfortunately, as much as it's not my favorite series, it is still a very profitable IP. But you lay them off. And it's like, you can't pay them either, I guess? Like, what are we doing? You're making a mess of every little thing, and it's irritating. And it's like, whoever watches this, it's like, oh, they're complaining about Xbox again. It's like, no, I'm just tired of seeing people get fired from their job from a company that's richer than rich and clearly could pay these people. It's stupid. I don't care what anyone says. You can do better.
Yeah, see, that's been an issue reoccurring throughout this year anyway. We have complained about layoffs in the past, which you can see in our previous episodes. But this one has been the worst one by far. I don't think I don't think any of the previous layoffs have even touched the number 9,000. And, Geo, insert Vegeta here. It's over 9,000! Because I'm sure everyone knows that meme. But that is
and it's all from the same company,
ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. That is too many employees to lay off at one time, and you've been laid off from multiple different districts of your gaming development system that you have going on. What are we doing? How are we doing it so poorly?
And it's from the same people. Like, this isn't the first time Xbox has done this. I think they've done it. This might be their second time, I'm not sure. But they bought these studios. They closed down these studios and laid off thousands upon thousands, and people wonder why I don't like Xbox. It's like, this is why. You're doing stupid things, and you just won't do any better. And it's like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Besides corporate greed, why are we doing this?
Yeah, and you're literally leaving people without a job, and I really hope that whoever Xbox laid off, they found a new development company to work under already, because that is a lot of people. That is some big numbers of laid off people that clearly have some sort of talent that they were even under Xbox's wing. Now, literally. Granted, I'm gonna admit, I kind of lost respect for Xbox after 360. Like, when they released Xbox One, I was, like, yeah, whatever, so big deal, I don't care. Because at the time, I think I was doing PC gaming, and then I went to PS4, and then PS5, and now back to PC gaming, because my PS5 won't stop shutting itself off. By the way, Sony, why is that an issue? Because I think that, what's his name? Crimson Memories, without name dropping him, he has the same kind of issue where he has like 3 PS5s that will not stop shutting themselves off. Well,
the first two won't. They just won't stop shutting themselves off. It sounds like it was a faulty problem. It is dumb. Again, this is coming from the people who, for those who like to call me a PlayStation fanboy, this is where you're gonna hear my Sony critique, since we're in the shit zone anyways. They literally, I've had my PS5 longer than both Crimson and Soldier. Mine's going on 4 years. I only have had one problem. My disc reader stopped working. But my console, it doesn't really shut off much at all. I have had issues where it shuts off, but now it's like it doesn't do it anymore. Hasn't for quite some time. Since I cleaned it, I fixed it, whatever have you. But for other people like Soldier, like Crimson, their stuff should not be shutting off. Especially Crimson. Like, he's had 2 PS5s that did that. That's kind of bad. That's pretty bad, actually. Granted, Crimson screwed up his first one and stripped it raw, when he was trying to clean it, so that I'm blaming that on him. But the second one, that should not have happened at all. It's just dumb.
Yeah, see, I don't get it. I don't fully understand the issue, and I know at one instance where I had my PS5 turning itself off, one fix I found was completely reinstalling the PlayStation OS. Like, just putting a flash drive in the PS5 and completely installing PS5 from scratch. I have the flash drive here I used to do it, but of course I lost the files I used to do it, so I'd have to re-look them up if that's the fix I need to do again. But at the same time, I don't have the effort or the wherewithal to bother with it, because I'm back on PC gaming. I'm just going to do mouse and keyboard for a while until I can get a PS5 Pro. I cannot be arsed. I just cannot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I literally, if your PS5 stops working, this goes for anyone, just upgrade to the Pro. You're already getting a better performance anyways, and it's not that far off from the PC performance. I hate to break it to those people, but you all talk about how many frames you get. It's like you can't even see past 200. PS5 Pro gets 120.
You can talk about your frames all you want. This is coming from a fellow PC gamer. Talk about your frames all you want. I don't care. I'm running a 5060 NVIDIA right now, and I'm only doing 60 frames per second on all my games, and I'm still running them fine. They're running great. I'm enjoying my gameplays of them. I've been running Hogwarts Legacy on 60 FPS with NVIDIA Boost, and I am having a blast. The game is running beautifully.
And that's, again, that's all you need is see. Like, these people are like, no, you need 120 up. It's like, maybe if you're like a pro gamer, quote,
it's like
unquote,
maybe if you're playing multiplayer games where you need where you need to be at 0 ping and need that 120 FPS to get like the smoothest camera movement possible. I don't need that smooth camera movement. My camera moves smooth just at 60 FPS. I don't see any difference going at higher FPS. Sometimes it can feel smoother at times. Like when I played Remake or Rebirth, on PS5, I noticed a strong difference with playing on 60 than playing on 30 on Remake. But that's about it. That one's a bigger difference than going to 120 from 60. I don't know how, but it is.
And that's the thing, is like there's not the biggest difference in the world. Like our eyes are only meant to see so many frames at once. It's like when I see, we'll say clicks. Yeah, Clicks is infamous for it, I think. Clicks and like Ninja and a couple other Fortnite people out there, they complain when they don't have 300 FPS, but it's like, dude, you can only see 200, and really the difference isn't as noticeable. Like for Clicks, he needs it because he obviously competes a lot. Ninja only plays pubs. So like, you don't really need those frames. You have the aim, you have the gunny to literally destroy
I don't even need those frames either. I'm playing on 60 FPS. Now granted, I'm no pro gamer, but I mean, shit, I'll pop off on Blitz Royale if I feel like it.
I mean, yeah, you don't, again, and mostly the FPS also comes with, if you are playing builds, I will say you do need it, but it's like, you don't need 300 FPS, you can't see that many frames.
Shit, if I can figure out my building better, if I can figure out how to build on PC properly, like all those other pro gamers, I'm sure I could be fine with it at 60 FPS either way. Like 60 FPS is not that much of a downer for me. It's still pretty good frames, and it does the job pretty well, still running the game very smoothly and how you need to be running it.
I would probably, if I'm playing build, I would need 120, but like, I'm not gonna go overboard like, I need 200 up. It's like, I can only need 200. And outside of that, again, there's only, the max I've ever seen someone have an FPS of like 400 something. It's like, you can't even see all those. It's just there because your PC can do that.
The funny thing is, I could run 120 frames per second, but I choose not to. I choose to just go 60 FPS just to save on performance. I don't know if that's what the FPS does, but that's what it feels like.
It does. FPS is a performance thing, but yeah. And to compare that to PS5 Pro, because I mean, base PS5, it can do 120. I've done it with Borderlands 3. It is kind of insane. But you don't really, again, consoles are at this point, especially with the Pro, where you can do 4K 60. You don't really... your flex isn't the flex you think it is. Really what this boils down to.
Yeah, it's
like,
not
it's
as
just
big
not
of
a
a flex
flexing.
as you think it is. Like, you can flex all you want. Maybe you have all the frames in the world. I'm not gonna give a flying fuck about what frames you have. I got exit lag, and I got pretty solid running games. I'm fine where I'm at. I don't
My PS5
care.
Pro can do all the heavy lifting your PC can do, and it can do 4K 60, because that's what most PCs do anyway. So it's like, what are you trying to flex here? You're only trying to flex frames, and it's like, you're not that cool, guy. 9 times out of 10, if we're playing like a 1 versus 1, I could probably still shit on 4K 60. I don't need help with that. At the end of the day, it comes down to skill, not the frames.
Yeah, the only thing it comes down to is skill and ping. Like, if you have good ping, there's a good chance you can get good skill, but you don't need the frames to have good ping. My ping usually runs fairly fine where it's at. Even on 60 FPS, I can get some pretty decent ping and get some good shots in on an enemy that kills them before they manage to get me.
Yeah, and it literally, even in like Call of Duty, because like I watch a lot of COD pros, they're over here talking about like needing these frames. It's like, not really. I've beaten PC people numerous times on Call of Duty. Because again, it comes down to skill, your movement. Can you aim your gun? Can you get in the right spots to do what you need to do to get done? And it's like, yeah, see, I can. If I grinded COD religiously, I could probably be as good as people who complain about frames. I'm just saying.
No joke. I don't see any reason to complain about frames, and I doubt I'm going to start complaining about frames anytime soon. The only thing I'm going to complain about at this point is how games control. If a game doesn't control well, I am bound to complain about it. But I'll also be bound to find a way around it, find a way around how the game controls. Because game controls are more important than how many frames you get. If you get good frames, then good on ya. But if the game controls are bad, what's the damn point?
Literally, and again, 60 FPS is standard. Like, don't get me wrong, I probably will complain about 30 FPS depending on the game. Like, I can play Rebirth at 30 FPS. It does kind of hurt my eyes a little for some reason. And it's not intentional. It's just PS5 really opened my eyes to how much I prefer 60 frames as long as the game looks great. Which Rebirth on 60 FPS does not look great on base PS. I hate saying that. I do. But there's blurs. There's very noticeable pop-ins that just kind of show up at where it could have done better patching it. But the Pro version, my god, chef's kiss. Absolute chef's kiss. Like, I cannot wait to play Rebirth on a Pro. Like, and again, the Pro is not much different than the PC at this point, so
now,
the flex doesn't matter.
The bad thing is, with Pro, I mean, honestly, the frames are probably going to be beautiful. I'm not worried about the frames, though. I'm worried about how much more beautiful the game is going to look, how much more realistic. I want more of that.
Trust me, you get 4K 60, it looks beautiful. I actually know, I've been to someone's house who's played it on a Pro. My eyes melted. I was like, yep, nope, I'm ready for a Pro. It's clearly a bigger upgrade for me to justify not having the base PS5 anymore. Sorry. Especially with, like, even Hogwarts Legacy, like, because he showed me that too. I was like, this doesn't even look like the same game anymore. This is just insane. Like, is this real? Hello? So, is this thing on?
In conclusion, yeah, the games we got coming up are going to be really cool for the most part. We obviously noted down some ones we are interested in, but we are still going to focus on certain ones, like Beast of Reincarnation, High on Life 2, or Silent Hill F, Final Fantasy Tactics for Best Buddy, because I don't play that shit. I'm not a Final Fantasy Tactics kind of playstyle guy. But to each their own, again. And Xbox, get your fucking shit together before I stick you in your ass box.
No, really though.
And yeah, that's about it. So,
that really is. And with that, all that being said, because Silver just summed it up.
Frames don't matter as much as you think they do. If you get 60 FPS, you're doing good. You're doing good, kid. If you get higher than that, fine, but don't complain if you get lower than that. Don't complain if you get lower than 120 FPS. It's fine.
You can only complain if you're You can only complain if you're stuck at 30 FPS lock, truthfully.
The only thing you can complain about is if your game is stuttering while you're trying to run it at a certain FPS. If your game is not stuttering and it's stuttering and it's running very smoothly, awesome! That's all you need. If you have smooth gameplay, that's all you need. You don't need all of these frames.
Which for modern games, 60 FPS needs to be the standard. I hate to be that guy, but it's like that's where Switch is becoming unbearable compared to most platforms. It's like you're stuck at 30 FPS. You can notice the stutters. I literally rewatched someone play Tears of the Kingdom just out of curiosity. Obviously, I don't like the and the game stuttered so bad. It's like, yeah, see, if I were that type of fan of that Zelda, I would play it on Switch too, because 60 FPS looks great. Like, you need 60 FPS for most graphic-heavy games at this point.
Yeah, 30 FPS should be more for older style remastered games that came out in like 2004
the 90s,
or even before
the
then.
90s and up, essentially. Like Tactics, yeah. I'm okay with it if it doesn't have 60 FPS, because I don't technically need it for that style of game.
It's old, like, it'll be fine. Even going back to those 3D style exploration games, back to like Simpsons Hit and Run, you only need 30 FPS. It's not a graphic fidelity game. It's an older style game. It's just very fun to play. You don't need all of those frames. It'll run fine on 30 FPS.
Yeah, and mind you, there is games back then that can go 60, because literally the GameCube did 60 FPS fine, which I thought was insane to find out. I was like, oh, okay.
They did
but
60?
Anyways,
I never would have guessed that.
Yep, them and the OG Xbox. I don't think PS2 did 60, I'm not sure. But I was like, see, I only noticed 60 now because it makes sense to me. Back then, I was like, I'm just having fun.
I never would have noticed that, because back then, the graphics weren't even that great. It was not noticeable.
No.
But that's crazy.
They were just...
That is wild to think about. Okay.
Yeah, that was a fun little tidbit.
Fun fact of the day. But
yeah, that's the fun fact. But again, if we are done with everything, are we done with everything?
I think we are. I think we've covered everything.
Okay, so again, thank you for everyone who watches this on YouTube or who listens on Spotify. A massive, massive shout out to LexiWolfz, to all the beautiful art you see on the screen. She did a great job. Love it.
The beautiful Firefox in the middle of everything with the Destined Bloodline Mako themed background. Sorry. Best buddy, help me here. The green streams of background. That.
Live stream, yes.
Live stream, yes, yeah. The beautiful live stream background. Shout out to LexiWolf, and my wolf boy over there looks fantastic. So does Best buddy,
the Fox
boy.
Phoenix. Absolutely fantastic again. Thank you, Lexi, so much for those. Shout out to Geo for editing all of our chaos. You're probably gonna lose brain cells after this episode, but who knows?
Geo, blow
Great
up hero.
Great job all around. Just again, if you liked what you heard, liked what we talked about, go drop a like, comment, subscribe into the Destined section below. And until next time, guys.
This is equals 3. Shout out Ray William Johnson.
and of course all of our socials as well. You can find me on Twitter at hero_destined. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/DestinedHero7. Again, we are currently streaming Ghost of Tsushima, so we can get ready for Ghost of Yotai. We'll also probably be streaming Final Fantasy Tactics and Borderlands 4. It really depends. Depends how fast I beat Borderlands 4. Anyways, and then of course, if Soldier wants to shout out his socials, he can.
Of course, and you can find me on, of course, Twitter at Keyastas. It'll be in the description in case you didn't follow that. You can find me on BSky. I believe it's also
BSky.
Keyastas. Again, description. And you can find me on Twitch, DestinedSoldier. No 7, because I'm cool like that. I'm an ass. You can find me everywhere else as DestinedSoldier. You can find me everywhere as DestinedSoldier. I even have a fur affinity. I don't care.
Yep. And of course, if you want to join our Discord server, Soldier really, at United Destiny, I'm sure that link will be there. I would.
Yeah. You can also join the server. I'll have the link also down below. Geo, slow down our voice and make it go very, very deep as we say that, just like equals 3. But it'll be in the description below, and you can find it there.
And of course, you can find LexiWolfz on Twitter. I'm pretty sure it is at TateWolfz, if I'm not mistaken.
LexiWolfz is at TateWolfz, and
then you can find her on Twitch.
I definitely recommend commissioning her, but there's no 100% about commissioning her. I would recommend finding her on Twitch and asking her there in her chat about commissions.
And
because she does stream her
LexiWolfz
usually. Yes, Twitch TV LexiWolfz, in case you missed what he said, because I talked over him.
Yes, twitch.tv/LexiWolfz, and then of course, actually I don't know where to find Geo at, so I'll let you take that part.
Geo, I'll figure it out again because I don't remember, and I'll just stick it in the description below. Again, slow down my voice so it sounds really deep and really funny.
Yes, but anyways, again, thank you all for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify. I don't know if episode 7's on there, but again, tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, so on and so forth. And until next time, guys, this is the Destined Duo signing off. Later.
Hey guys, Editor Geo here. Just a friendly reminder, if you are enjoying these podcasts, do make sure to check out everybody's social medias. For all of our visual enjoyers, it'll be on screen here, and for everyone else, it'll hopefully be in the description of whatever platform you're watching it on. Anyway, good night.